It was a little bit interesting. Maybe they're hit or miss, or maybe, I know something about Intel Extreme Masters brings it out of them to really step up to the plate, but they're up against a very tough opponent, CJ Entus Frost. They're 1-0 right now in OGN. They have McNoon now middle. He's been adjusting to things. He's been having a little bit of a tough time, but this lineup, do you agree that this could be like the best CJ Entus Frost we've seen?
All right, so McNoon, a little new to the mid lane. He had a rough time in OGN. He had that Orianna game where he kind of fell behind, but his decision-making is some of the best you will ever see in a mid laner / player in general. Going from that top lane to mid was a rough transition, but he's looking better now. He's going to be on your screen, actually, looking phenomenal. And I wonder how much of his champion pool he's actually changed.
Yeah.
How much he's adapted to the current meta. We're on 3.13, obviously not 3.14. And that Orianna pick, it's really good. It's really interesting, but I want to see him take an assassin in mid.
I think everyone wants to see that. I mean, it's a shame for him because he can't really proxy farm in mid lane anymore. He can't make that happen, or even in the base farming. But I like what you said, though, if he's adapted his champion pool, because we've seen... Okay, this is what I always say. Adaptation for these teams is the biggest thing to have. Like, that is the greatest asset for a team. You need to be able to do that quickly. We saw back when Season 3 finally kicked in at Intel Extreme Masters in Katowice that a lot of teams struggled. I mean, Evil Geniuses, they struggled a lot to adapt into the Season 3 meta. And teams that can do that always seem to be on top.
Yeah, and being able to, quote-unquote, abuse the OP, like, you know, make comps around it, get the AoE synergy, and just take the strong laners into their respective lanes. And then having Mad Life in bot lane as well is something that is to be highlighted. Like, you just love his plays. His champion pool is huge. We love seeing his Thresh, his Lulu, his Sona. I haven't seen much of his Sona, but he loves making those playmaking supports.
If he can play Sona like he can play a Thresh, I wouldn't want to be on the other team. And as an AD carry for space, it's probably the easiest thing to know that he has your back non-stop there in that lane.
The trust between bot lane is so key.
It is good. And, you know, coming into this game, what do you really kind of expect? I mean, we didn't get to see Saigon Jokers on stream. They're currently 5-5 in GPL right now.
Yeah.
You mentioned a little bit earlier that, you know, we saw some Jacks with the Gunblade. We actually had our first pentakill come in. I think that was in Game 2 on TPA with Lucian. What do you think they might try to bust out here? Because we know what CJ Frost plays.
I don't know. The Asian teams are known for their unorthodox comps. We've seen them run very interesting things like we saw in the amateur tournament earlier on this week. And I'm not sure. I want to see... I feel like we're going to see Lucian. I feel like we might see a Jinx come out of nowhere. That'd be pretty interesting. And the standard picks, it's most likely they're going to go with the standard stuff that they're used to running, they're comfortable with, and everything like that. Yeah,
it's so weird that like the normal picks, they change so often. I love that though about League of Legends, is that the meta is is always evolving. Where Annie now is kind of just the standard support pick. Yeah. Like it's not like Leona, it's not Sona, it's Annie. You want to get Annie, and both these support players can play her. And we've seen this weekend, we've seen back Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, how strong an Annie can be if you can hit those stuns.
5-man Tibbers, always the dream come true. The early initiation with the Incinerates if you're going to go for an invade with that one. And just Annie and Fiddlesticks, actually. Fiddlesticks 2 has been one of the bigger supports, but not so much here. I see it more in NA. But just still, the versatility that some of these AP carries that have rotated from mid to support has just been key for teams to put in their comps.
Yeah, and well, we're going to find out very soon, very short. We're having a little bit of technical problems, but they'll be fixed in just a moment. But I really want to know what they're going to pick. I really want to know what they're going to play. And the games we just saw prior, you were casting with Rapid.
Yeah.
Didn't expect the second game to be so one-sided.
Medjais. Gosh, just two Medjais.
I'm just thinking back to Nuke Duck picking up the Medjais on Scion at Intel Extreme Masters Cologne, and how that unfortunately didn't work out for him. But the first game was so close. Like, that was probably one of the best games I've seen in such a long time. Like, the rotates that constantly came in for both teams to catch the other team when they're going for a gank, like on middle or top, was phenomenal. They had such a great read on each other.
BDD made really smart plays, and following with Illusion just to back him up, and then that turret dive that turned into 3 kills for Lucian on the other side of the team. It just made it so that the decision making wasn't on point, but then they fixed that instantly. They're like, all right, we're rotating, we're doing this right, we're going to make our opponents now cry because we're going to just not let him have a fun laning phase on Kassadin, who at the earlier point didn't have that rift walk, kind of got forced out, forced the flash early, and then just shut down.
Yeah, the downside to a Kassadin. We even saw a nice little cheeky, pretty much 100-0 Nidalee Spear come in.
Poor mistake.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't exactly 100%, but it was over 1,300 damage. And
bushwhack into a spear.
You don't really live off those too much. But guys, we're going to go to a quick commercial break here, but when we do come back, we will have CJ Entus Frost going up against Saigon Jokers in the semifinal best of 3. Hello everyone, welcome back to the Intel Extreme Masters Singapore. We have our problems finally fixed here, and we have CJ Entus Frost going up against the Saigon Jokers in an amazing best of 3 for the semifinals to see who goes up against Invictus Gaming in the grand finals.
Ooh, they look so strong.
Oh my gosh. You know, the thing is, you look at this, at least for the game you saw prior, who to ban out? And it hasn't even come about, you know, banning out a player, because you pretty much can't do that anymore. It's about banning out what you don't want to play against.
And we saw Invictus Gaming not want to play against Nidalee, so they banned that out. But then he just reverse picked into Kassadin, and Soul Stealer stomps everywhere. Soul Stealers for jungle fiddlesticks. But I don't think we're going to see Soul Stealers this game.
Maybe Sword of Occults.
You know, mix it up.
Have you ever seen a Sword of Occult?
Yes, I have. On a Jinx. It was really interesting.
Do you know who?
I don't remember. It was someone on the NA Challenger scene, okay? They do what they want.
they're meta breaking, but yeah, but we're getting into this game just shortly. But CJ Entus Frost, you know, I kind of want to talk about McNoon, because to me, that's the story of the team right now. It's about how quick he can learn this lane.
Which he has been doing really well. He's played in OGN. He's gone up against people who are no slouches. Like, he just adapts and learns, keeps the calls coming, keeps it fluid, and makes sure that his team is on flow and ready to go.
Yeah, and I want to know the champion pool he's been going with. You mentioned a little bit earlier that you want to see Assassins.
I want to see Assassins. His Orianna staple, it's good. It fits with every comp. But Assassins, I want to see him make plays. I want to see him go for flashy stuff. I just like it.
See, I'm thinking, what about potentially Riven middle? We've seen that come to life recently, and that's a champion you would most likely play in the top lane, but recently now you use it more towards middle. I would also love to see a Ziggs out of him. I don't know. To me, Ziggs is like the perfect champion for him. It's like, it's just trolly enough and does just enough damage that it would fit his style.
Yeah, you get the bombs. You even have an escape in the satchel that you can use to blow yourself away or into a fight if you want to do that. And it looks like everybody is ready. We're going to get this game started, and here we go. We're going to get underway with picks and bans as soon as they start it up, as this is going to be game 1 of the semifinals of Saigon Jokers taking on CJ Entus Frost. And we're on the way into the picks and bans screen.
Yeah, and I'm looking at this and I'm really wondering how much CJ Entus Frost is respecting or disrespecting Saigon Jokers. Did they pay attention to the games yesterday? Did they see what they were working with really well? And are they going to take those champions away? But we do have bans coming in very quickly from both these teams.
All right, so we're going to see Nidalee taken away, as well as Annie support taken away from Junie, and then Renekton from Shy. That is one of his staple top laners from what I know. And Renekton away from, Nidalee away from McNoon. I have never seen him play Nidalee. Maybe they're just scared in case he's been practicing.
Maybe they saw the last game, they're like,
yeah, we don't want to deal with any of that poke. And then Lee Sin and Rengar to round out the ban, so QTV's Rengar not going to come into play. Yeah,
so CJ Frost, those 2 first bans. I mean, we mentioned earlier that we saw the first Pinnacle come out of Archie on that Lucian yesterday. And they're banning things out. That's actually what I like about Frost and Blaze back when we were casting them last year, is they will never go into a game lightly, ever. They will always research, they will always prepare, and they're showing it yet again. And over on Saigon Joker's side, seeing the Renekton, I mean, he's just impossible to move in lane. Unless you're Rengar and you just wear him down over time.
Just sustain more than him. Sustain harder, you know?
That's pretty much the name of the game there. And then the Lee Sin takeaway from Helios. It's very smart bench from both these teams, and it looks like... It looks like Saigon Jokers have a plan, though.
It's going to be Orianna picked up for Optimus, so they don't care what McNoon can play. They're just going to be like, we're throwing Orianna into this lane. Very safe, very strong. The thing is, though, Shyvana was let through. We're not seeing anybody pick that up. We've seen that be one of the stronger picks coming back in. But Nunu for Helios that's locked in. And then Shen being covered up for Shy, so we'll wait till they just, swap it up. Maybe they're going to go for something else more aggressive or pick up the support 80 carry. It depends. But they switch it up to Sona and lock it in for Mad Life. We talked about Sona Mad Life.
Yeah, and we're going to see it here. And we just saw Nunu in the best of 3 earlier with TPS and Dorn's Blade start. Really interesting to see. It didn't work out too well.
No.
But it was cool. I will give him that. You get style points for that one, but unfortunately it didn't work out too well. But the Nunu, I really wonder now, are we going to see Caitlyn? Are we potentially going to see a double AD comp? Because Nunu, he really fits well with that kind of thing where you can just push middle, push bottom over and over and over, keep rotating back between those, and just take your buffs whenever they're available.
That could be a sign for a Vayne pickup for space, too.
Also,
Vayne, Nunu jungle, then coming down, just giving him Blood Boil late game. That's huge. Final hour so strong. And now we're going to see Lulu get locked in for Junie as support, and then they're hovering over Shyvana potentially for KTV or safety.
And it's probably going to be definitely in that top lane. It has to be. I mean, Shyvana is an immovable object there. But the Lulu, I really like that pick, actually. Junie used it yesterday when they're playing against TPA. I don't know his score on that one necessarily, but Lulu, when Lucian's banned out, it's like, yeah, he can't get out of my slow. It's like, you can finally enjoy yourself because that means you can't really be chased down an AD carry or obviously who else from the other side, but Man, look what he's hovering over.
Oh, Riven, we talked about this. It's really strong. It's really actually works into 3.13 meta pretty strong, but there's Ziggs too.
Did he hear me? Is he trolling me right now? Like, I would love to see any of these two champions come
Or
into play.
both of them, why not?
Oh, man.
Just put a Shy on Riven top, and then just throw Ziggs into mid lane. And that could work out really well. Riven works with Blood Boil too, you know. But Ziggs fits really well. He's got the kite, the blue buff, the sieging potential is strong, the mines, the zoning, everything.
And he's really good against Orianna too.
Yes.
To pair that in, I mean...
come
now
on, he's just trolling us. He's trolling us so
come
hard.
on, 3 seconds left. There, he's gonna lock it in. We're gonna see the Ziggs. That is great to see. And yeah, as you mentioned before, the satchel charge. You have an escape, which you need these days as a mid lane. You need that as any lane right now, and that's why you're not seeing like much Ashe as an AD carry kind of thing. But I want to see how well he plays it here because there's a lot of mobility on the other team, and it's gonna be very tough to deal with an Aatrox who's gonna jump into you.
All right, so Aatrox jungle for safety most likely, then we're going to see the Shivani top like we keep saying for QTV. And Archie hovering over Jinx. Jinx, Lulu lane, Zap, Glutterlance is so annoying to deal with. You do not want to get poked out by that, and he's going to lock it in. So we're going to see a Jinx, Lulu for the bot lane while we wait for Mad Life to pick up potentially the AD carry for space. We thought it's Vayne. He's hovering over Twitch, and both those AD carries work pretty well.
Yeah, and the Aatrox, I want to point that out real quick before Saigon Joker's safety. Played quite a bit of it in GPL.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty much one of his main junglers he runs with. So I want to see how he's going to run it here. I know I mentioned last week at Intel Extreme Masters Clone, I haven't really been convinced by Aatrox.
No.
Mostly referring towards just the champion and how they've been playing it, but we saw Cyanide do so well with it then. We saw in the World Finals Cyanide doing it on top of that. And I want to see if he can match that level, and I honestly, I feel like he can.
I think he can too, but Twitch was locked in for space, so we're going to see Spray and Pray and Blood Boil, as that is a deadly, deadly combination, and expunge it and blow them up everywhere.
You have an opportunity to be Monte Cristo right now. Give it a name. Spray and... I'll let you think about it, but Blood Boil and Spray and Pray, how do you combine those two? Because he did that Curse of the Sad Bullet time.
Spray Boil. Blood Boil.
The Doling. The Doling. You have a chance here.
Oh, man, I don't...
Okay, you'll bust out a little bit later. I trust in you. But yeah, the Twitch pickup right there. I love him. Like, I've always said, in my opinion, that he is so strong early on. The Expunge, you never really expect how much damage it does to you. It kind of catches you off guard.
They nerfed it too.
Yeah, and it can do so much. Not to mention you have the slow, you have the stealth, which is kind of key. And I think that they actually might use him to roam around a little bit, maybe go for a gank or two, because that can catch you off guard. Seeing an AD carry just appear in your lane is like, oh, what? Didn't even know he's coming.
It's no submarine, though. There's not going to be a ball on top of him, unfortunately. And he can chain it into Crescendo pretty well if you get in a good position. And just Riven for Shy on top. We haven't talked about that at all either. Against Shyvana, I feel like if there's a lane swap, that Riven's going to have a really, really bad time.
Yeah, Riven. I mean, you obviously have the shield if you want to max that first, but it's like you don't want to ever max that as your main first ability. But I completely agree. You know, going into 2v1 for a Riven, you can farm in a turret decently well. Obviously, since you have so many abilities to use and you're not based off of mana or anything like that or energy. But if you get poked down against a Lulu and a Jinx, like, you're going to have a very tough time. So I think he's definitely going to be going into that 1v1 lane. And I was actually talking to Joe yesterday. I was like, Shyvana, what counters her? Like, we got to break the meta here. What's the one champion? And I said Riven to him. I was actually really curious about that, because if you win early on, I think you can control that lane completely. Once you get a little bit of lifesteal, it's very hard for Shyvana to really take you down too quickly.
Yeah, and already we see Saigon Jokers looking to get a potential ward over by the red buff. They dropped one from Junie over here at the entrance of the red, and we will see them just go for a nice little group. Shyvana gonna run into a ward that's actually up top here, coming out from Helios, who did go for a cloth armor potion and then utility tree for the biscuit, which is very interesting.
I believe he had a ward too.
Yeah, he has a regular green ward and then the free ward.
Yeah, so he's gonna get a little bit of vision here, and it looks like they want to be able to control their own side of the jungle. And this is one thing about Nunu that I've always been hit or miss on, is that in the current meta, he can't really counter jungle that well. I mean, obviously he has Consume, he has a Smite, he has the ability to take it quickly, but as the game progresses on, it's like all he offers is that Blood Boil and the zoning potential of that ultimate. I mean, I guess you can throw in the slow and the attack speed reduction from the snowball, but that's, I don't know. I've seen a lot of other junglers do well, but I know Helios, I mean, he's going to prove me wrong easily right here.
Yeah, we're going to see him start blue, but still, this group is still happening over here from Saigon Jokers, as they may just want to just go for a really aggressive red steal. They're going to get spotted out by a ward that was actually just placed here by Mad Life, and they're actually backing out. They're not going to give up the position. They pinged that the ward was placed, so they saw it come out, and safety is just going to go for a safe blue buff.
See what you did there. See what you did. Yeah, they could have gone for that late invade, but I believe they did see that ward that came down on Frost's side, so they didn't really necessarily want to be spotted. But, you know, the ward across the map, I really like it. It's, at least for Saigon Joker's side, like, they're trying to control their own red from being taken away. They're trying to limit Helios a little bit. And over on CJ Frost's side, they have a lot of wards down as well. So the junglers, to me, aren't going to be able to do too much early game.
Yeah, Aatrox could go for level 3 dives with the Bloodwell passive. He could go for a tower dive. They could split aggro, and then he'll come back. They may have to try to get a kill or something like that. But we talked about McNoon earlier on Ziggs in this mid lane, just doing a ton of damage coming out there. And you see him using the Infuse passive, just harassing down Optimus there. Bouncing Bomb forced to be juked away, and then just Command Protect was forced out in the earlier stage.
Yeah, and he's doing a really good job with zoning power too. I mean, he has the wards down, so he knows he can be this aggressive, and he's really forcing Optimus back quite far with the auto attack, with the passive. But right now, we do see Helios. He is going for invade here. At the same time, Safety's doing it as well in the top lane.
All right, so we're going to have respective red steals from both sides. So they're both taking each other's red buffs. We're going to have the timers on that one. And also, we didn't talk about the lane swaps that came in here, as Shy, not going to have a really fun time on that Riven. Not much sustain coming in from him. He does have Doran's shield and that one potion to come with it. But Archie's going to get free farm as well as space in this Sona lane against Shyvana.
Yeah, and you look at a Shyvana. Ooh, oh, wow, Safety actually getting very low middle right
He's
there.
ignited, but here comes Helios coming in. He does fall from the Ignite coming down, but Safety going to be slowing him with the red buff auto attack. Ice Blast goes in onto Optimus instead, but the auto attack from McNoon, they're going in onto Optimus. Bouncing Bomb barrier comes down, auto attacks, and one more flash coming in from McNoon for the double kill on that Ziggs, and a beautiful play and a counter gank from Helios.
Double kill, double buffs. That is not a good sign if you are playing, or if you're Optimus right now being in that lane. A great job by Helios to be there at the same time to really return that one around. And McNoon with that Ignite, I mean, that Ignite alone, it kept Safety there, and it gave him that first kill.
That was beautiful play coming, and then he tried to Dark Flat away, but could not. Even though misclick from Helios with that Ice Blast, he still ended up picking up the kill, and a really good job from that one. And now we're just going to see Space and Life just be dominant in this lane and try to do some damage to this turret.
And let's just take a quick look at McNoon. What he picked up when he went back. He got the Chalice. Just for the extra regen, obviously, also, or the cooldown reduction he's going to get with the Athenes and Holy Grail. But it gives him that potential to really spam away. I mean, he has blue buff and a Chalice. How are you going to go up against that as Optimus? We do see,
whoa, Mad
QTV
Light
getting really aggressive there.
All right, QTV not afraid of that. Shyvana just does the burnout and goes in for a few auto attacks, but he'll strike it back off with some heals. We already see McNoon abusing that double buff in the lane. Bouncing Bombs, auto attacks, and red buff. But Helios is actually up top right now, going out to Archie. Has to use Flash to get out of here. Gets stunned up by Shy. He's going to flash away. Is he going to barrier up the Ignite? It is, but Shy going to get in through the exhaust. One more auto attack. He's blood boiled. He gets it, and Shy takes out Archie. While Helios going in on the Junie, he will just use the health picks and get out of there and run to the safety of his turret.
Wow, and I'm really surprised that actually happened because Saigon Jokers, they had wards down. They knew Helios was there, but I guess they didn't assume him to commit that much time over towards that top side. But Shy with that Riven, just doing so much damage, just by going aggressive like that since they were tied up. And right now, CJ Frost, a nice 3-0 lead, 5 minutes in, his safety coming down bomb just to make sure QTV doesn't get pushed out here. Frost looking very strong right now.
Helios is also pushing up with Shy up there, keeping them blood boiled up, keeping them strong. QTV getting forced out of lane. Safety's going to look to try to hold this one out, but without Bloodwell, he's not going to have much safety to rely on if they try to dive him out here. But they will go back. While actually they're initiating a nice little 2v2 dive up top here. They're not going to let Archie come back to lane safely, but with how low Helios got, it's going to look like it's pretty dangerous.
And Archie, I mean, you look at CS right now, 26 to 39 currently.
Yeah.
And he has one death on top of that. Getting pushed out of lane right there, he's going to miss a little bit more, obviously, but that's not a good sign. I mean, considering, yeah, McNoon, he's 2-0, Shy's 1-0, but then to have your AD carry on the other, or on your team, Saigon Jokers, kind of die early on is really unfortunate. But Saigon Jokers, they still have a very good team. They have a lot of damage and tankiness built in with safety and with QTV on those two champions, so I don't want to count them out just yet.
Yeah, and look at this pickup, actually. Shy goes back to base, and his first buy is going to be those Boots of Lucidity, as we actually go back into another little pause. The pause is done, and we're going to get back into this game, and I'm interested to see where the next jungle, where the next team is going to apply jungle pressure.
I think with what Frost has already now, with Helios being that Nunu, they're going to go for that blue steel, no Optimus. They don't want to let him have that one. No. And if they can take it away, give it over to Helios or to McNoon, he's going to have an even tougher time as McNoon's starting to finally... God, does he ever miss those?
That was a beautiful
He hasn't missed really anything.
That was a beautiful play with the satchel. He knocked him into the mines on the angle that he threw it. That was pretty cool looking.
And right now, we do have buffs coming up in about a minute here. And that's going to kind of tell what Frost wants to do. They have the advantage, so they can aggressively ward up. And right now, with that Sightstone, Helios is doing just that, and looks like they want to control blue. I'm curious though, is Shy going to come down? Is he going to help out with this? Or will Frost be able to just push them away, be able to bully them?
I feel like without Ziggs is level 6 right now, MacNoon being really strong. And actually, he throws the Mega Throw Death Bomb onto safety there, but he gets out in time, doesn't die, and he'll be just fine.
That's gotta be so unfortunate just to see that giant circle appear above, or under you in the jungle. You know, assuming you're not worried. But the top lane, we have Helios going for a gank here.
Yeah, he's gonna go in on top of Archie right now. We're gonna see the knockup come in from the Broken Wings. He's gonna get stunned out. There's no way he can get out without Flash. He's just trying to kite this one out and fight. The zap goes into Helios, but it's not enough. Shy is gonna take down Archie. Now they're chasing onto Junie, as they will just get a ton of damage into him. He's really fast. He's forced the Flash away, and that is going to be 1 kill over to Shy again, putting him at 2-0. Those boosts of Lucidity coming into a huge effect.
Yeah, I don't want to talk too bad about Saigon Jokers right there, but that was all too easy for Helios.
Yeah.
There was no ward down to spot him coming. You'd see pings coming in like you should ward this spot up. He should not be able to just walk in and pick up a free kill. Like that honestly should not happen. But a credit to Helios for realizing that and making that play happen. But now they're heading down towards blue. They want to be able to take it away. And MacNoon, he's going for a gank bottom.
Oh, he's actually just going to look to go towards the turret. Space was taking a ton of damage as looks like the dive is still going down. He gets ignited. They flash in with the power chords, and Mad Life will help MacNoon get the kill. And that will be a nice 3v1. And they don't even have to juggle tower aggro as they just pick up the kill easily.
Yeah, it's all too easy for them with that range that they have. And right now, actually, I'm not sure exactly where blue went. I do want to check that one out really quickly. It did go over to Optimus, so he was able to lock that one down. But safety going for a gank on a Shy here, but he should be able to pick this one up. Like, there's no way. If anything, Shy could turn this around on him.
Yeah, just pop the ultimate and just burst them down with a ton of damage coming out. But he's going in the lane's going to soak up a little bit of XP, help Archie stay safe. And with Shy going to the golem space, he's going to rotate towards Dragon, which Helios has actually initiated for the team, and they will be able to snag this one up in 8 minutes. He's just going to get the free attacks, use the consume, heal up. Mad Life is going to swap aggro, and this should be the first Dragon of the game over to CJ Frost.
This is what I love seeing out of any team. Just the fluidity in their play. Yet Helios gank top, got a kill. I was able to get Archie down. Then
He's so low.
He's so low. But then they see, you know, safety up there, and they're like, all right, well, we have our AD carry support bottom. We have the man advantage. They go straight for a Dragon right off that. Like, they do not miss a beat, and they're, I don't want to say destroying Saigon Jokers, but 8.5 minutes in, having this kind of 4,000-5,000 gold lead, it is very one-sided so far.
Yeah, and up top still, Archie and Junie are laying into the start. Pow Pow doing a ton for him. He's getting the extra attack speed. That blue buff is still being contested here by safety. He does use Smite. He does get it, even through the Mega Throw Death Bomb from MacNoon. So they will deny him that one as they just leave that and be content with trading blues, as Space is actually coming in stealth.
Oh, this is what we were talking about earlier, though. That the 8, he just got shy of that bush. That's what we were talking about earlier, though. An AD carry that kind of disappears out of his lane as a twitch, and you can stealth in. I would imagine if he got the slow, they probably could have picked up that kill.
Especially, there was barrier available to Archie, but no flash still. And MacNoon just shoving Optimus out of lane so hard, using that Chalice of Harmony really well.
I will give credit to Optimus, though. Considering his opponent had double buffs and 2 kills on him within 4 minutes of the game, he's doing very well in CS.
He's keeping up really well. Usually we would see a Zig just like 100 CS at this point, just like completely shoving it out and snowballing it. But Optimus has actually been applying pressure too. Command attacks and dissonances coming out, and just trying to do whatever damage he can. While Helios, level 7, roaming around the jungle safety, is a level behind him.
Yeah, and safety, he hasn't been too successful in his ganks just yet, but it's because he hasn't been the one making them happen. Now, that sounds a little bit weird, but he's the one responding to whatever CJ Frost is doing. And right now, Space going in.
The cast comes out, the crescendo connects as well, the spray and pray as well being huge, but he flashes away from Expunge. He's able to get out of there. He's ignited, but the poison is ticking. But Helios from the side, the flash snowball coming in from Helios, the absolute zero gonna get knocked up, as now safety's gonna lay in a ton of damage with double buffs, but flash from Space, he's going in at the Junie. It's one more, and he gets it as Frost gets Junie, as Frost Space gets Junie. And they're gonna now get their second turn of the game up top if they keep this 3-man push-up.
Wow, it's such a great fight of Helios. Great positioning, too. And then the ballsy flash over the wall because he wants the kill right there. And it looks like they will take that turret down instead of actually denying a little bit of CS. But being 7-0 up right now, 11 minutes in, I think they can kind of just afford to start grouping up. I mean,
yeah,
they took the bottom turret, rotated the AD carry support top, took that turret. If anything, they might go middle, or at this point, with the ward coverage they have down, they can continue to push this top lane.
Yeah, they're really strong. They could also have MacNoon rotate if they want to, or just try to force Optimus to leave that lane and then let MacNoon keep split pushing, try to get the turret. The infused passive so good at pushing. There was actually a ping onto a pink ward that was placed out here by safety, so they will know that that is controlled and maybe look to counter ward that one. Or maybe just look to rotate towards the tier 1 in mid, as that's the last outer turret remaining.
Yeah, it's smart play by Junie. I mean, instead of investing into an Oracle at this point when he doesn't really have... Oh, wow, safety getting low. McNoon going in!
The flash comes out, Shy is waiting. When the Bloodwell passive comes in, we're going to see a stun and maybe a wind slash. The Mega Inferno Death Bomb passes a red buff to McNoon, and he satchel charges out of there, and that was a really good catch from Shy and McNoon.
I feel like McNoon trolls his teammates, too. He's kind of like, you know what? I'm going to take this kill. There's no way you're going to be able to get this one in. They were able to catch him off guard, and it's because of this aggressive warding that they had. They were able to just see exactly where everyone's Saigon Jokers is, and now they're going to be able to take this middle turret.
Yep, a ton of damage being laid into that one. The last range minion tanking and standing strong. The space comes in with McNoon. They're going to draw the bounce from Optimus. He'll command protect, but he will run his way back out of there. Now Blood Boil, I'm surprised he's not doing it on space. He's just throwing him the Shy, helping him get the attacks in there. Maybe later on in the game he'll throw it on him.
If he's kind enough, but you know, we do have Shy. We can take a look at IEM real quick. He does have that Brutalizer picked up now, which cooldown reduction, armor penetration, and right now at the stage in the game when the enemy team can't pick up that much armor, it's too strong of an item for him. It's like the exact item he needs. You look over at space, he has that Bilgewater Cutlass going for the Blade of the Rune King, but we see safety might get caught here.
He's gonna use the flight to get over the wall. He will be able to get out of there just in time.
But it's like 12.5 minutes in, and you can't even jungle as a jungler. Like, that is the amount of control that Frost has. That is this quick play that they're going with, and if you can't farm your own jungle at 12.5 minutes, how do you get back in the game? I mean, you have to catch him off guard with the ward coverage, but Junie might get caught.
Oh, Junie's going to charge in a two-man crescendo from Mad Life. Comes out, he giant throws and gets the knock of the ball. Is thrown on as well. Absolute Zero gets used to zone them away. They will just keep staying in with this one. Satchel charge of the three-member. Shockwave goes on McNoon. They're trying to take him out. Dragon's Flight. And the rocket from Archie picks up one, but Space gets a double kill with the Expunge. A triple kill looking for Optimus now as he's trying to take him out, but Space is getting initiated by QTV. And it's going to be Shy coming in from the back, cleaning it up, getting a double kill. That's an ace for Frost over Saigon Jokers, trading two people for that one and still getting the blue buff.
That was a 4-on-5. Keep that in mind, folks at home and here in the audience. A 4-on-5. Shy was not there until the last two bit of kills, which he kind of just got all too easily for himself. And they're still able to take that one. You saw Saigon Jokers, they invested so much to kill McNoon, but he had no mana anyways. No. He really wouldn't do anything in that fight, and then they left Space alone with that spray and pray, with that Blood Boil, tearing through them, picking up that triple kill. And now, CJ Frost going to take a turret on top of this, being up 13-2 in kills. 10,000 gold lead here in second. Oh, well, very soon, probably.
Very soon. But we do see safety charging and forcing Shy to run out of there. He gets blood boiled. He just goes on his merry way. And with McNoon's back, he didn't have apparently too much gold, but he picked up a Haunting, guys. So do you think he's going to go for, like, Sork Shoes to follow it up or just raw damage?
I would imagine Sword Shoes. I think he realizes that, hey, we can win this game early. Why not go for some penetration when they don't have any magic resist? Go for the Sword Boots, stack that one up, and then get all this extra damage that, you know, a little bit of AP wouldn't really kind of counter here. And he decides to go for that, and we do see Helos with that Oracle. So, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if Frost go for a win here momentarily. I mean, they can take out any vision. They can siege turrets right now. How is Saigon Joker's going to, engage a fight? It's safety and QDV jumping in, but there's no Sunfire Cape for QDV. No. Safety has a Doran's Blade of Cloth armor.
Oh, Shy's coming in with the ultimate on the QTV right now. He's going to look to try to run away with the burnout. Flashes away from the knockup, but now you're going to get chased down. That CDR is going to be huge with the blue buff. And QTV going to get tagged with the red buff. He doesn't have the ultimate. He's going to get just destroyed by this. He's trying to juke away with something, waiting for the burnout, but here comes safety. Gets the slow on top of that one. McNoon is following up as well. Is he going to throw the ultimate on top of QTV? Bouncing Bob connects, but he doesn't need to. Shy is unstoppable. Archie going to throw out those flame choppers. A missile as well. Giant growth on the Judy, but doesn't connect. Exhaust, he's gonna get the leap away. The zap isn't gonna connect as Shy gets the heal from Mad Life and makes his great escape out of there and takes down QTV with the help of the double buffs and McNoon.
He dodged so much right there with the Riven, just Q over and over. He dodged Aatrox's abilities. He dodged, I believe that was, zap coming out of Archie. He would have died right there, but because of Riven, because of the blue buff and all that cooldown reduction he has, he was able to make that great escape, and he stays alive, and CJ Frost just add another kill to the pile that they have.
That mound of kills that are just amassing on the CJ Entus field. But now Oracle's with Helios, like I said before, he's clearing out the blue side. He could look to clear out the Baron pit, try to make that safe for them. They do have a pretty fast Baron on their side. Shy's just two-manning Dragon with McNoon with that blue buff, just spamming out the abilities. But up top, tier 2, gonna go down.
And look at that. I mean, QDV, they don't have any aggressive vision, and you can't blame them because the Oracle on the other team, with you being maintained into your base, not even being able to farm your own jungle, you there's no point. You can't really afford to do it. I mean, we see some aggressive wards over towards bottom out of Junie, but that was for that last bit of an engagement that we saw happen, and in the end, CJ Frost didn't even lose a man.
Yeah, I'm surprised Archie's actually getting this red buff. I'm surprised it's not warded and already being counter jungled out, but McNoon
You say that McNoon's there.
Shockwave connects, Dissonance comes in, the Rev being applied, he turns it around, forcing the flash into Archie. He gets hit by the zap, but Optimus will pick up the kill as 3 members take down McNoon, and instantly we see CJ Entus rotating towards that Baron. There's a ping on it, and it looks like they're actually gonna start it.
3 members, and it wasn't easy at all. 3 of them almost died in that 1v3 from McNoon. That just shows how much raw, pure damage he has, and then Frost, like he said, going for Baron here, going for a very quick one, but it's not dying as fast as we expected, and Junie's going to be able to spot it, as well as QTV coming down from the top side. There is the potential to steal, but against a Nudo, it's not very tough.
Yeah, very, very hard to steal from a Nudo. We see them coming in, the rocket connects from Jinx, and it's going to be actually Space picking it up, not even a smite available for Helios, but QTV is going to run into 4 members. Okay, he uses the Dragon's Descent instantly to get away with the burnout.
Just an instant nope.
He's like, yeah, goodbye.
Well, now CJ Frost, the gold lead it's getting ridiculous right now, and they are playing perfectly. They have not made one single mistake, I believe, this entire game. But right now, Saigon Joker, smart play out of them, realizing Frost has that Baron or just picked it up. They're going to go for a turret. They're going to go for some gold that they need to pick up at this point. And they're gonna get it.
All right, so their first turret of the game, it's something that they need to do. Mega Turtle Death Bomb on a QTV before they leave, maybe looking for safety on that, but the Dissonance sped them up and got them out of there. Now they're 5-man rotating and maybe trying to secure some global gold on these turrets, as they did take down 1.
They have to be afraid to do that right now, because look where Frost is. They already have 2 men pushing down middle, the rest following up from that blue side. I mean, with a Ziggs, who's this strong already, with a Riven, with a Nunu, and pairing a Twitch on top of that, turrets won't last long at all.
No, and also, that Haunting Guy's turned into Liandry's Torment instead of going for like a Death Cap. I'm so used to seeing at least Death Cap into like Void Staff or something like that for a ton of damage. Shockwave comes out from Optimus, it does whiff, and McNoon will be getting out of there just fine, but not Optimus! Crescendo and Flash Power Chord from Mad Life gets the kill. Absolute Zero channeled as well, bouncing bombs coming in from McNoon. They're using the spray and pray from space onto this turret, as they're just face taking it. They don't care, they will just take it out.
Yeah, and again, a 4-on-5 right there. Shy is just split pushing bottom as he does. And yet, Saigon Jokers, they realize they can't fight. They kind of got caught right there. They wanted to go for a fight with that ultimate coming out of Optimus, but they don't have the damage to back it up at this point.
Yeah, this is kind of looking a little one-sided. Not very one-sided this game, at least. That 14,000 gold lead. All the outer turrets are gone now. We're seeing a push attempt in from CJ Frost onto this middle inhibitor turret. They want to look to try to get that one. Whimsy comes out, turns into a cupcake for a little bit, but now Shy doing a ton of damage to QTV through the Sunfire Cave. You just see him absorbing all the damage with the shield. Helios is going to maybe come in, drop a Blood Boil, and then peace and go into mid lane, while McNoon goes up top to push.
Sounds like a hamburger, McNoon. But, I mean, but look at QTV's items. I mean, he hasn't been able to go for boots because he needs to get tanky. He needs it now. He doesn't need the speed because he has his burnout, obviously. But with how strong, I mean, he cannot get the resistances and that health built up quick enough to combat Frost. They had a very early Baron. They're still sieging down this turret. They're still split pushing with Shy, and no one can go toe-to-toe with Shy right now.
No one cannot. No one can, actually. As I'm looking at the items, it's just, there's only one person with armor, and that's QTV. So they have to keep him down here, try and at least save the turret, or maybe force a dive out of Shy and then try to collapse. But he's 2 levels ahead. Level 2 ultimate is so strong on Riven. And the poke coming in from McNoon alone without even a blue buff is just chunking away Optimus and Junie. Bouncing bombs. If they connect to Archie, he's going to have such a rough time next fight.
Yeah, McNoon's got to be a little bit careful, though. He's running out of mana currently. Oh, actually, he does have the blue buff, so he does have that regen with the cooldown reduction, so he doesn't have to worry too much about that. But you're definitely right. The poke, you see it working on Saigon Jokers, and maybe we just see a couple of home guards come out because they need to be able to heal up quick enough in return. But Shy going in on QTV under his own turret.
Does not care. The shield just comes up instantly after 3 seconds anyway, so it absorbs all the damage. Mega Inferno Death Bomb onto Optimus. He gets chunked out. Archie gets chunked out. Helios is going to go establish the zone. Jai is going to come in from the side. Pop the ultimate. Can he get the Wind Slash for a kill? He's got Flash. He's got Ignite. He's going to dash in. Exhaust comes out, but it's not enough. Helios going to get a little bit of damage on the Uni through the Ignite, but the bouncing bomb from McNoon getting the kill. And meanwhile, the inhibitor falls mid lane, and CJ Frost snagged that one and looked to rotate their bot and try to close it out and get 2 inhibitors.
Yeah, they're not done just yet. They're going to be able to pick up this turret very quickly, and you see Saigon Jokers, it's pretty much a point of we have to fight because we think we're going to lose. He was flashing in.
Oh my god, a 3-man crescendo as well as Shockwave, but it's 3 members, but it's not enough space. With the spray and pray picks up 1, they do end up taking down Man Life, but that's 3 members dead. That's 4 members dead, actually, excuse me. That is going to be 4 for 1, and a second inhibitor going down. I wonder if Frost are going to try to end this with 20-second respawn timers left on Saigon Joker's. Space stealths up, gets the attack speed. There's the satchel charge to zone away a little bit, and Space cannot, Safety can't jump in with the way Shy is just zoning them.
Not to mention Space, I mean, he's building attack speed with that Blade of the Rune King and that Phantom Dancer, as we see Frost actually backing away. Not going to be going for the final push here, but going to play it safe and, you know, just for good measure, just throw in that ultimate there.
Just so they don't chase, you know, everything.
And look, and Junie got so low off of that too, just from that ultimate alone. And right now, Frost looking very strong. And you know, if Frost was to go on to win this semifinal and go up against Invictus Gaming, I would hate to be IG. I would hate to be IG in that situation.
Well, if they're both 2-0s, they would both respectively 2 other semifinal opponents. But right now, with the way that CJ Frost look, there's double Bloodthirsters on Shy.
Why do you don't need tankiness when the best defense is a good offense, you know?
If they can't live long enough, you know?
Yeah, and he's 6-0-4, doing a fantastic job on that Riven. We thought that could have potentially been middle, but he ends up playing it in a 1v2 with the help of Helios, who's able to come out ahead in lane, come out ahead in CS, and right now, across the board, minus the junglers, because Helios has been around, you know, blood boiling Space and Shy, Frost are winning on all fronts.
Now that I think about it, throwing a Jinx into a 2v1 against a Riven, Jinx has no mobility, except for Flash, and maybe Flame Choppers if he can try to get away. But besides that, maybe a Whimsy could try to get her out, but there's so much gap closing from a Nunu with Ice Blast and then Riven just jumping all over you that there's nothing that they could really do to get away in that lane.
Well, especially with not warding the river. When we saw Helios just run straight through it, I mean, it doesn't matter what you are right there. You're going to get killed if you don't ward up that spot. But right now, CJ Frost going to go for the final inhibitor turret here. And we have Shy pushing bot lane by himself yet again, split pushing. Frost looking to close out this game.
Yeah, and with 3 inhibitors, it's really easy to do that, as just McAdoo laying in the pressure and the pain, as we do see Satchel and bouncing bombs all over the place. Safety trying to not get hit by any of that. Death Bomb gets thrown out once again. Does connect and almost kill Junie, actually, as he's forced to go back to base. And Archie getting down to half. We do see them now closing this one out, getting the 3rd inhibitor, and it's just a matter of time before they end the game.
Yeah, I mean, during Summer Split of LCS, the chance of coming back from one inhibitor being down was 93% chance you were going to win the game, pretty much, which is really hard. But we do see Safety jumping in, he's going for a last fight. And he does go down. Absolute Zero gets canceled by the Whimsy Flash. Crescendo on a QTV, that's just going to be Safety going down. A 4-man Shockwave comes in, has Space, and everybody else just diving on this one. Satchel Charge on a QTV and Junie. McAdoo may just look for the kill. I feel like he's going to go for it, but this is going to be game 1 to CJ Frost. CJ Frost going to close this one out with style, too. 24 minutes in, 21-4 is the score, 47.6 thousand gold to the 26.5k, 11-1 in turrets. That game wasn't even close from the first 5 minutes.
Yeah, as soon as they got those first kills on Shy and then Helios is roaming around phenomenally, they got the first dragon and they just completely rolled over the map control and pressure. So really good play from CJ Frost, which is what we expect.
And you saw the 4-man Shockwave come out of Optimus. It was very well placed, but it's something that Joe and I always call a meth wave, because it did not do any damage. He just didn't have the ability power he needed. He was 1-4-3. He had 135 AP compared to McAdoo sitting on 296, which he had a lot of money spent in the end anyways, but it was just really unfortunate. You look at this, if they talk, you know, what do we ban out? I mean, it's not even about bans to me. Yeah. To me, that was just about getting outplayed.
It's just play. Yeah, you have to outplay it. Against a team like CJ Frost, they have hundreds of comps, maybe like an infinite amount of comps that they want to play and can play and use against you, and just capitalize on minor misplays from the enemy teams. Like if Saigon Jokers mess up, they will just take, instead of taking a finger, they'll take the whole arm.
McAdoo, I think he's very pleased with that game.
Yeah.
On that 6. I know I was 7-2-10. He finished off with the Leandri's Torment. Had a death cap coming in momentarily on that too, and Shy still had those 2 Bloodthirsters, just did not care. Wasn't killed. He didn't have a tough time in lane. He wasn't punished, really.
No.
If you think about it, yeah, he obviously got the kill early on, was around level 3, but in terms of CS at that point, him compared to QDV, he was still winning.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he would have been a 3rd Bloodthirster if he could have. Maybe a Black Cleaver.
I think 3rd Bloodthirster definitely could have been a possibility, but Frost definitely looking unstoppable. Saigon Jokers, I don't know what they're going to do in a little bit of a break, because I have no words of what they need to change. I mean, it was just Frost. Maybe no Jinx, but it was just Frost, like you said, taking advantage of every mistake that Saigon Jokers did, and they will take that game very quickly.
Yep, and with that, we are going to be going to a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with game number 2 here at Intel Extreme Masters Singapore for the second semifinal match between Saigon Jokers and CJ Entus Frost.